going on?
Something stupid, I'm sure.
Listen up, motherfuckers. This is part 2 of a 2-part review. We are about halfway through the game. We're about to spoil just the biggest section of the game, just the most important thing you've ever seen in your life. So please, if you haven't watched part 1, if you haven't played God of War, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go play that, then watch part 1, then come back here. Besides that, just want to let you know in advance, this part of the review will have a lot of cutscenes in it, unedited, just because I think that's better than me just fucking trying to summarize what happens in them. And a lot of these are very powerful scenes, so I just want to keep that up front with you. A lot of cutscenes in this one. Alright, let's finish this masterpiece. Welcome back. I must say, you look great today. I gotta say. And just welcome back to this beautiful, beautiful video game that we are playing, this masterpiece. And I know we left on a bit of a cliffhanger last time. The boy has fallen ill, and now we must take him to Freya, who we are beefing with. So it might not work, but we gotta take him to Freya in an act of desperation to try to save his life. But on the way, Mimir actually tells us more of the sickness. He's seen it before in mortals who are confused about their identity. And in this case, it applies to Atreus because he is really a god, but he sees himself as a mortal. And without knowing the truth about himself, it creates a conflict within the mind that could kill him. So it's really just time for Kratos to man up and tell his son the truth. But before we get all the way to Freya's, we do hear someone call the serpent using the serpent horn, and this is actually a really interesting part because people don't know if it's actually someone in this game or if there's a bit of an element of time travel, and we'll find out in Ragnarok. Me personally, I think there's a bit of time travel going on here, but people have said it could be Baldur, it could be Thor, because it does get kind of stormy in this section. Although if it was Baldur, and especially if it was Thor, I think Jormungand would just start throwing hands. Honestly, I can't believe I didn't mention this in the last video. Jormungand is actually from the future, the world serpent. He's a giant from the future who fights Thor during Ragnarok, and he got blasted back in time. So clearly there could be some time manipulation going on here. Anyway, let's talk to Freya.
Freya! Open the door! We need your help! Woman, do you hear me? It is urgent!
I'm still a god. Go away.
The boy has fallen ill! Freya! He is ill.
Inside. This is no ordinary illness. The boy's true nature, your true nature, fights within him.
I did this to him. Will you help me?
Of course. There is a rare ingredient found only in Helheim. The keeper that protects the Bridge of the Damned. I need its heart.
Hell.
The realm of the dead. Do you know it?
Not this one.
It is a land of unyielding cold. Fires cannot burn there, and no magic in all the 9 realms can create a blaze. As for the dead, your frost axe will be useless. You'll need to find something else.
Then I must return home. Dig up a past I swore would stay buried.
Who you were before doesn't matter. This boy is not your past, he is your son. And he needs his father. This rune opens the bridge to Helheim. When you are there, do not under any circumstances cross the Bridge of the Damned. There is no road back. Understand?
Boy.
Himalay. You must hurry. Through my garden there's a path leading to my boat. Take it. Return home. Dig up your past. Do whatever you need to do. Just bring me back the Bridgekeeper's heart. And your son may survive.
So I'm sure you heard what Kratos said. You're just so excited. You're so excited. I'm even more excited now that I actually played the old games. But we're going to get on this boat here, and we're going to say hi to an old friend before we get home.
Athena. Get out of my head.
There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know. But I am your monster no longer.
Quite well in Helheim.
Who else is doing it like me, baby? Who else is doing it like me? Not only did I leave it in because it's the best combat sequence in the game, I also had to leave it in because I didn't take a hit and I was very proud of that. So I know I bored you to death with cutscenes by now, but we're gonna go to Helheim and I'm not gonna bore you to death with cutscenes. Maybe one little one. So Helheim, as Freya said, is very cold here, and it's mostly Hellwalkers. There is the new kind of enemy type. I don't really even know what they are. I don't really pay attention. Sometimes they explode, but they're always in big groups. They kind of swarm you. They're kind of like little zombies that might blow up. It's a cool new enemy type, and it's a great enemy type to use the Blades of Chaos on because it is the perfect antithesis to the Leviathan Axe, because the Axe is really good at those one-on-one fights. You can do some kind of crowd controlling moves, especially if you get the chain stance moves, but the Blades of Chaos, they're bread and butter. They don't do a lot of damage to just one enemy, but they can hit half the arena. And you see the moveset. It's the moves he had in the last few games. Of course, the first time I played this, I was like, yeah, that's some cool animations, there's some cool moves, but then now you play, you're like, holy shit, he hasn't lost any touch, bro. He's not rusty at all. Just a great foil to the Leviathan Axe, as I've said. Great for crowd control. Of course, it does fire damage, the Leviathan's ice damage, and it's just the best weapon of all time. And also just what they symbolize here. He is so scared of these weapons because of what he did in the past. But he's taking his own advice now. Don't be sorry, be better. And he's going to be better with these weapons now by doing right by his son and trying to use them for a better purpose now. And as he said to Athena, he is not the monster of the gods anymore. He's not their instrument. He can use these weapons to create a better world and to save those that he loves. And I mean, goddamn, that's just some real shit. That's just some real shit. So anyways, fighting through Helheim, it's actually a really linear area. There's a couple different paths, but for the most part, you're just following a straight line across the bridge, and you fight one of these motherfuckers again. And this is probably the hardest version of this mini-boss, just because he like be teleporting and shit, and it's really kind of an annoying fight, I'm not gonna lie. He also spawns in enemies later in the fight, and there's like these little explosive things that are left after his attacks that follow you around, and they're just kind of annoying. It's just not a fun fight, to be honest. But it makes it even more satisfying when you kill the fucker, and you get to rip out his heart. But once again, we are visited by an old friend.
I have the heart. I need nothing more.
You're set. Better not to linger here, though, eh?
Kratos. Zeus,
Zeus?
my father.
Your father was Zeus? Well, that explains a lot.
What is that place?
Never go there. Understand?
So Kratos is rightly scared, and this kind of brings up the next phase of Kratos' secrets. He will not tell his son in the future that he is just maybe the worst human being to ever grace the Greek world. But we'll get into that in time. Mimir actually connects the dots, and he says, you're the ghost of Sparta. And Kratos is rightly like, why the fuck would you call me that? So unfortunately, the next hour of footage I had got corrupted. So that includes a very big cutscene that I will show you. I will borrow footage from another YouTuber for this cutscene and the next big section, which is Tears Vault. I don't really want to do this, but having to play through 13 hours again just to get 1 hour of footage, it's just not worth it in my opinion. So I'm sorry, it kind of breaks immersion because I don't have the same armor sets and stuff, and I really don't like taking other people's work. I will credit them in the comments, but here we go. Anyway, we have a video to make, and I can't be playing 13 hours of this game again. So of course, once we return to Freya's, we are able to save the boy. Kratos is still kind of unsure if he wants to tell him because he still believes godhood is a bit of a curse. And he doesn't actually tell him at first when they leave, but eventually it all comes to a head. And I just gotta say one last thing. Me and Freya, yes sir, we're back together. Beef is squashed. She's my wifey again, bro. And nothing that could happen in the future can change that.
I know you overheard my talk with Freya. You think you understand, but you do not. Why do you say nothing?
You said I was cursed. You think I'm weak because I'm not like you. I know I was never what you wanted. But after all this, I thought maybe things were different.
You do not know everything, boy.
No. But at least I know the truth now.
The truth. The truth. I am a god, boy. From another land far from here. When I came to these shores, I chose to live as a man. But the truth is, I was born a god. And so were you. Boy, have you nothing to say?
Can I turn into an animal?
Can you turn into an animal? No. No, I do not think so.
I'm a god. Mother knew? She was a god too?
No. She was mortal, but she knew my true nature.
I'm a god. Why did you wait so long to tell me?
I had hoped to spare you. Being a god, it can be a lifetime of anguish and tragedy. That is the curse.
What sorts of things can I do? Can I fly? Or turn invisible? I don't feel like a god.
I do not know the reach of your godhood. But over time, you will learn.
What I like most about Atreus' reaction is that it's kind of like just a curious kid. He learns it. He doesn't feel any different, but he's like, I wonder what I can do. I wonder what the possibilities are. And as Kratos explains in the boat, we don't really know the extent of his powers yet. They could be anything, but Mimir does point out that he thinks that Atreus' knack for languages could be part of his godlike powers. Also, what I like about the cutscene is Kratos himself expected some sort of big reaction. He was so scared to tell him. And then I feel like he was low-key disappointed that Atreus reacted so normally. But enough of this, it's time to go back to Tyr's vault, where we were rudely interrupted by Modi, but now we can go down this really cool elevator showing different murals of Tyr, the god of war, the Norse lands. And according to Mimir, he wasn't really that good at his job because he was more about keeping the peace than trying to wage war and gain power from war. And while he doesn't show up in this game, his impact is probably the most out of any character, I feel like. He's kind of leaving the clues behind for us to get to Jotunheim. He had the temple in the middle of the lake. A lot of what happened to the world is a result of him. And I am very, very excited to see how he interacts with Kratos in Ragnarok, considering Kratos did some horrible things, and Tyr probably knows. So anyways, this section, Tyr's Vault, probably my least favorite game. It's not bad by any means. It's just a series of different traps and puzzles and just a bunch of different enemies that can attack you. I like to think of it kind of as like an Uncharted temple kind of thing. There's a bunch of different artifacts from a bunch of different regions of the world and their mythology. And I like that they're kind of already laying the seeds for where they could go next after the Norse realms. My guess would probably be Egyptian. I feel like they talk about them the most in this game, at least hint at it, because Atreus does ask Mimir a little bit about them. And of course, there's a couple Greek artifacts on. There's one of Kratos that he breaks because it brings back some bad memories. And we'll see one a little later after we're done with the dungeon. So after all the puzzles, there's one last one. You have to like arrange the sun and the moon and the earth to match where the wolves are, which is one of the tales that Mimir tells us. So these two wolves, when they catch the sun and the moon, Ragnarok will start. So it's kind of like a cool little foreshadowing puzzle. But this puzzle kind of tricks you because even though if you solve it, Kratos still looks like he's going to die. So Atreus sacrifices his mother's knife that he grabbed at the beginning of the game to save his father. And right before they grab the rune, Atreus is kind of bummed about his knife, but Kratos actually made a different one for him when he thought he was mature enough, old enough. And right after we get the rune, we're ready to go to Jotunheim. We just gotta go back up the mountain. We gotta fight two of these bimbos again. So this gimmick, one only gets damaged by the Leviathan axe, and one only gets damaged by the Blades of Chaos, but you can't just focus one. You kind of have to bounce out their health bars or else the other one will heal the other. It's a pretty interesting concept. I'm just kind of tired of this enemy at this point. But all in all, I didn't think it was too bad. So while they're on the way out, using the elevator, Kratos shares some Greek wine with his son that he found. And this is a nice little bonding moment, but we do kind of see hints here already. Atreus is kind of taking this god shit to the head. He's been talking a little crazy. Mimir noticed it. Kratos is kind of just hoping it goes away, I think. But he's starting to act arrogant. He's kind of getting angrier, and he acts superior to others, as we will see in a minute. But the worst one is he kind of thinks he's above it all. He thinks he's somewhat invincible now. And now that he's a god, he can do whatever he wants. And that he doesn't have time for a bunch of different little problems that they have been helping the dwarves with or other people. He even talks down on his mother a little bit because she wasn't a god, and Kratos fucking snaps on him quickly. But the first real instance we see where he kind of lashes out is against Sindri, because Sindri once again complains about Brock, and he has a bit of a point. He's like, stop fucking bothering us with that shit, get it fixed. But he says it in a way meaner way than I did. And even Kratos is like, why were you mean to him? That's my fucking job, you little bastard. But, you know, Kratos is like, you know, it's just a little phase. It's just a little emo phase. He'll get over it. But then, once we re-enter the mountain, Modi is waiting there. And Atreus isn't so keen on letting him get away this time.
Blame me. Me. For what you did to Magni. My own father called me a coward.
Looks like he did more than that. Move it, or we'll pick up where he left off.
I'll kill you.
No. He is beaten. Not worth killing.
He should pay for what he said about Mother.
I said no.
But we're gods. We can do whatever we want.
That's what I said to your mother, right before I gave it to her.
What are you doing?
This is a much better knife than Mother's.
You killed against my wishes. You lost control.
Haven't you been teaching me to kill?
I've been teaching you to survive. We are gods, boy. And that makes us a target. From now until the end of days, you are marked. So I teach you to kill, yes, but in defense of yourself. Never as an indulgence.
Nobody cared about him anyways. What's the difference?
There are consequences to killing a god!
Why? How do you know? How do you know?
Watch your tone, boy.
Whatever.
Kratos, there's only one solution to fix this. So the boy's changed attitude actually applies to gameplay as well, as he will actually stop listening to certain commands. He'll attack enemies on his own. He'll even aggro like a mini boss before you're even like prepared to fight it. I just think that's some cool little gameplay details, because you know they could have kept it the same just with some sassy dialogue, which there is sassy dialogue between the two. They just start beefing. But I like that they actually took the time to change up the gameplay a little bit. Also, just gotta say, for Mimir, this gotta be awkward as hell, because he's just witnessing some father-son drama firsthand, and he just has no place in it. He's just gotta like, I was gonna say he just has to sit there, but he can't sit. He just has to stay there quietly and just witness it. He can't go anywhere. But eventually, we do make it to the top despite the beef, and we enter the travel room for Jotunheim into the gate. I'm actually really bad at this minigame, and this one even gives you the answer. I realized that after. But anyways, it's time to finish our quest and enter the realm of the giants.
Wow. Jotunheim. We made it.
Beautiful, isn't it? Why, I remember once... Brother, look out!
Miss me?
Run, boy! Cross the bridge!
No! I'm a god too! I can do this! Get off him!
Really? Walter, let him go! Take me instead, I'll do whatever you...
Shut up! All this time I thought I needed you! You're just meat. Turns out the boy's the brains.
No! You broke the gate! That was our only way to Jotunheim!
Stupid son of a bitch!
Get out of here, boy.
Yes, by all means, Junior, run away. Let Daddy do all the heavy lifting for you.
Let go!
Calm down, boy. You are not ready for this.
I am ready!
And here I thought my family was fucked up. Oh, your father is right, boy. You are far from ready. Now would you be so kind as to hold this for me? Thank you.
Atreus!
Give me back my sword!
Stay away from my son!
invaded the bridge! Hey, I asked you a question!
It's locked in! And when the bridge opens, the full weight of Asgard will come crashing down on you. It's over.
Is it? So be it. No! Listen to me!
Let me out!
Let go of it now or I will kill him. You know I will. What did you do?
Boy?
God damn, I'm gonna need a fucking cigarette after that one. But Kratos quickly disciplines the boy after this little incident, and they've done the one thing Mimir told us earlier in the video not to do. They cross the bridge. And there's seemingly no way out, but, you know, we gotta find a way. Come on, we gotta get to Jotunheim. So the department's like, why the fuck did Kratos destroy the gate? And part of it, I think, he's just kind of a meathead in that moment. But also, I think he kind of didn't want Baldur to get to Jotunheim. And also, I forgot to mention it earlier, Freya's protection spell got rubbed off by one of the traps in Tyr's vault, so that's why Baldur was able to find us at the top of the mountain. So anyways, this section of hell, you can't come back here later on, and it's honestly pretty quick until you get to one major part, but we do learn something very important here. Baldur is the son of Freya. And she's actually the reason why he is numb, he can't feel anything. While yes, he's invincible, he has lost all the joy in his life, and he really hates her for that. And now this really complicates things, because our biggest op is the son to our biggest ally. And surely this won't complicate things later on, and it surely won't complicate our relationship. But it seems like the only way out of hell is to take a little pirate adventure.
It is time, my son. Look around at what you have done.
Come on, we gotta go!
You saw.
There's no time, look! I have a plan! Jump!
your plan?
So after our little pirate expedition, it would appear Atreus saw the next part of Kratos' secrets, which is we killed the fuck out of our father Zeus. But that is not what is important right now. Seemingly we have no way to Jotunheim until luckily the room we fell in conveniently belongs to Odin, and he has a missing piece of a Jotnar shrine dedicated to Tyr, and Mimir uses his eye to reveal many more secrets. So because Mimir's eyes are gifts from the giants, he can use it to decipher and uncover the secret of the Jotnar shrine, which is that not only has Tyr gone to many other different realms, including, I guess, Japanese, Egyptian, Greek, especially Celtic, he has also found a new way to Jotunheim. And now this new way involves creating a key to unlock another hidden room within the Temple of the Nine, and figuring out what Tyr is hiding there. So in order to do this, we must have the dwarves craft the key for us. And notice how I say dwarves, because yes, they are back together. Probably the only good thing that came out of Atreus' little episode is that Sindri and Brock have made up. And now they're back together and they can do even more good than they were doing on their own. And this really highlights one of the main themes of the game, which is the importance of family, and that life is just too short to have these bickering feuds. You can do better together. So if you have a loved one out there, maybe you're somewhat estranged with or bickering with, maybe try to repair that. It might not be worth it in the end, but if you try, then something beautiful can happen out of it. So anyways, enough fucking philosophizing. Let's go open this big door. Just kidding, we're gonna talk about side quests, because I haven't yet. So it is around this time that we get our final side quest from Brock and Sindri in their quest lines, which is to find an ancient piece of armor. But we're not gonna go into the fucking details, who gives a shit. It's a fetch quest. And that's pretty much most of the side quests in this game. All the dwarf side quests is go here, find this item, and I don't mind it here because you get introduced to some great areas, just some brand spanking new dungeons, and they're all really fun to explore because the lore of this world is just so interesting. This dead world, seemingly just abandoned by the gods and other races. And it's just kind of cool to explore different areas, especially around the main lake. Now, most of the side quests around this lake are given by, like, dead people, dead spirits. Their side quests are not very interesting. The only thing that redeems them, and I guess part of the dwarf side quest, is that each one seems to come with a lesson that Kratos teaches Atreus, and I just think it's a great little flavor to each side quest to make it feel more meaningful to their overall relationship and the overall plot of the story. Exploring wise though, there are so many great optional areas to find, especially the 2 dwarf kingdoms you get to visit, and there are even a couple of dragons to find around that you can free in pretty simple side quests. But I mean, come on, it's a dragon, it's just fucking cool. I hope these dragons actually show back up in Ragnarok, because maybe they'll help us for freeing them. Maybe a man can hope. Besides that, just basic exploration on its own, especially around the lake, because while you're in the boat, Mimir will give you lore dumps and different stories that Santa Monica has taken inspiration from the Norse myths and kind of twisted them to fit their own lore here. And sometimes, bro, I don't even keep rowing. I just like stop and listen to what Mimir has to say because it's so interesting. It's so well written. And man, that man's voice is just, my god. There is some endgame side content, mainly fighting the Valkyries, but you can also go to 2 bonus realms, Muspelheim and Niflheim, which each have assorted challenges related to them. I'm not going to talk about them that much in this video, probably not at all actually. Mainly because I don't want this video to be too long, especially because we have a good chunk of story to still go. And the endgame content I actually really like, and I don't think I would be doing it enough service if I just spent like 5 minutes talking about it. So I think I'm going to make a video eventually on why I love the endgame in this so much. Please don't expect that anytime soon. Ragnarok's coming out on Wednesday. I gotta fucking finish this video. Okay, so let's see what else Tyr is hiding. And before we get there, I just remembered, I forgot another key detail. So we saw Kratos beat the shit out of Zeus, but Atreus later said that he didn't notice who it was on the boat. He didn't see any spirits. So seemingly we're in the clear for now. Anyways, there's not a whole lot to this section, honestly. It's mainly a smaller version of Tyr's Vault from earlier. There's more traps, there's more enemies, but the main thing that happens here is that there is an identical realm travel room under the one that already exists. So Kratos, in maybe one of the best cutscenes in the game, flips the temple to discover what Tyr is hiding. Before we venture inside this replica, we hear some wise words from Atreus that show his character arc.
That Mimir? Nobody can do all this alone. All these obstacles. They're just chances to prove we're the ones who can beat them. We may argue. Me and Father, you and Freya, Brock and Sindri. But when we all work together, we do make a good team. And that's Tyr's test. That's why we're gonna make it to Jotunheim.
Do you hear that, brother? The lad's found his equilibrium.
What's that mean?
He means you speak wisely, Atreus. And that is good to hear.
And inside, we find the Unity Stone. And Tyr used this magical artifact to travel to the different realms without using the realm towers in the middle temple. He was able to traverse the realm between realms, and he was able to stray from the path of the world tree. This was a great segue into talk about the fast travel system, because that is how we get to the realm between realms. We use the realm between realms using these gates dotted around the map to travel to set points, set areas. And instead of a loading screen, you go inside the realm between realms where you kind of walk around. Mimir can tell you a story, and then eventually a doorway appears and you go through. I really like this idea in concept, and I think it works well for some of the game, but I do have some issues since it's set points. Sometimes there's a point on the map that doesn't have one, you're like, why the fuck does it not have one? And the other one I had was, when I played this game for the PS4, sometimes you would run out of Mimir dialogue to pass the time in there, and the loading screens could get kind of excessive. And for the first half of the game, the fast travel system is only one way, so you can only go to the middle temple instead of going anywhere else. So that made it kind of annoying for a lot of it. Obviously, I would hope to see this improved upon during God of War Ragnarok, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I don't even want to fast travel in that game because it's going to be so incredible to explore. But anyways, we've been told throughout that you should never stray off the path, because if you do, you'll probably die or get disintegrated or something horrible will happen. But now we have an excuse to leap off the edge and see what we can find. And eventually you land and you do find the Jotunheim Realm Tower, and inside you are met with an enemy / mini boss gauntlet. What I like about this is it teleports you to the different realms you visit in the game. So one stage will be Muspelheim, one stage will be Alfheim, so Dark Elves will show up. But here you can really see the lack of enemy variety, because when you go to Muspelheim and Niflheim, it's just normal enemies, since they don't have very unique or specific enemies to them. But I bet this problem will be addressed in Ragnarok, but here it is kind of a big issue. So after the boss gauntlet, the Jotunheim Realm Tower appears back in the lake, and we are almost ready to go. We just need to find Mimir's other eye, so he can act as the travel stone to Jotunheim. So we must chat with our old friend the World Serpent once more, because it turns out Mimir's eye was in a statue of Thor that the World Serpent ate earlier, so we must actually row our boat inside of the World Serpent. And this part is just kind of cool, because while you're rowing around, you can see all these different artifacts and stuff that the World Serpent has swallowed up. But eventually you do find his eye, and it's time to get out of here. Everything's gonna go great. We can finally get to Jotunheim.
Hold tight and watch your balance.
The board shifting! I'm gonna...
I have you. Boy!
I'm good. I think I'm getting kind of used to this. What happened to him? Something we did?
No. Something else. A dead giant. Why would the serpent leave us here?
Look! Freya. We can still trust her, right?
Until we know for certain, keep her distance.
The World Serpent. What's happened here?
We hoped you would know.
You are far from home.
I'm looking for my son. The two of you. You helped me see things more clearly.
You do not know where he is then?
No. But the woods and fields speak his name. I know he walks here in Midgard.
When did you see him last?
Long ago. Before you were even born. Why are you standing so far from me? What's wrong? Something's happened.
There!
I had a feeling that hurting the big snake would bring the two of you out in the open. Do you have any idea at all, what you have cost me?
My boy.
Mother.
I'm here. Don't run away.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, Mother.
I know that you're still angry. I know that how you feel hasn't changed, but I want you to...
How I feel? How I feel? I've spent the last 100 years dreaming of this moment. I rehearsed everything I ever wanted to say to you, every word, to make you understand exactly what you stole from me. But now, I realize I don't need you to understand anything. I don't need you at all.
No, back off, Kratos. This has nothing to do...
This path you walk, vengeance, you will find no peace. I know.
You... I'll deal with you later. But family first. This again?
No, I'm skipping this first part.
You might want to turn away, boy. This won't be pretty.
I won't let you hurt him.
No, boy.
Fine.
Stop! No! Atreus! You're bleeding. Breathe, boy. Breathe!
Not my blood.
What is that? I can feel this. I can feel everything.
He's vulnerable now?
Right before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, I just want to say how fucking awesome watching that cutscene the first time is, because you completely forget about the mistletoe that Atreus has for his quiver. So when he says "not my blood" and you see the thing in Baldur's hand, you're like, holy shit, what the fuck? Because while fighting him for the first phase, you're like, how the hell are we gonna beat him? We still don't know what his weakness is. And then you figure it out. And of course, spectacle-wise, I love that the giant is coming alive. Since Freya can't fight on her own, she has to use different means, although she can get kind of annoying in this fight. Anyways, let's finish this once and for all.
boy. Well done, boy.
Come on! Do it! Do it!
Stop. Please.
He's beaten, Father. Not a threat.
You will not come for us again. You will not touch her.
I don't need your protection.
Just can't help yourself, can you, Mother? No matter what I do or say, you won't stop interfering in my life.
I was just trying to protect you. I've made mistakes. I know. But you're free now. You have what you want. Try to find forgiveness. We can build something new.
No. We can't. Because I will never forgive. You still need to pay for the lifetime that you stole from me.
I have paid. I have paid. But if that alone will make you whole, if seeing me dead will make things right, I won't stop you.
I know.
What? No, Father!
I love you.
Why do you even care? You could have walked away.
The Sigurians here must be better than this.
No, my boy! My dear sweet boy!
Freya. He chose this.
I will rain down every agony, every violation imaginable upon you. I will parade your cold body from every corner of every realm and feed your soul to the vilest filth in hell. That is my promise.
He saved your life.
He robbed me of everything. Everything. You were just an animal. Passing on your cruelty and rage, you will never change.
And you do not know me.
I know enough. does he.
Boy! Listen close. I'm from a land called Sparta. I made a deal with a god that cost me my soul. I killed many who were deserving. And many who were not. I killed my father.
That was your father in hell. Is this what it is to be a god? Is this how it always ends? Sons killing their mothers? Their fathers?
No. We will be the gods we choose to be. Not those who have been. Who I was is not who you will be. We must be better.
Well, guess we're the bad guys now.
In her eyes, yes. But she could never make that choice. We should finish this journey while I still have strength.
I don't understand.
Holy shit, this video is getting long. We gotta get to Jotunheim. But as we row back to the temple, can I just say real quick, like, what a boss fight. This is my favorite in the game, just because the emotions at the end, the family dynamic. Also, we've been fighting this dude throughout the game, and I like the mechanics associated. You do have to switch up what weapon you use on him. And I mean, just the animations, the tag teaming of this motherfucker is just glorious. Despite their differences, despite the problems they've had with each other throughout the journey, Atreus and Kratos come together as a family and as a unit to defeat a common enemy, and they become a beautiful fighting force. And the cutscene after the fight, where Kratos does kill Baldur, is probably my favorite cutscene in any video game ever, just because of what it means for the character, the callback to God of War 2, and their vow to be better than those who came before, and that's what this game is all about. Don't be sorry, be better. Alright, now let's go to Jotunheim. We have come such a long way. Character arcs have developed, and these boys have actually started to like each other. They actually love each other. They're a family. And when we get to Jotunheim, Mimir stays behind, and there's a nice little cutscene showing Kratos has nothing left to hide anymore from his son. He must have forgotten about his other family that he killed. He did not mention that to Atreus. And unfortunately for them, Jotunheim is practically deserted. There's no sign of any giants anywhere in the mountain. But within the mountain, we do get some hints at Atreus' past and the future. His story, the story of the game, is illustrated upon the wall here. And it shows that not only was Atreus' mother and Kratos' wife a giant, but she also knew everything that would happen in the game. Lucky bitch got a fucking press release copy and spoiled it for everyone else. And as they're about to leave, Kratos does notice one that does depict the world serpent being born and what seems like his death, but we can theorize on that later. And when they get to the top, they see that pretty much all the giants are dead. And they spread the ashes together as father and son, as a team, as a unified family. And just before the game is about to say, alright, that's it, you made it to the end, they drop one more bombshell on the player.
So, I get that mother was a giant, which makes me part giant and part god.
And part mortal.
Right. I guess there's just one thing I don't understand. My name on the wall. The giants called me Loki?
And when I first heard that, I was fucking baffled. I was like, there's no way they just dropped that on you at the end of the game. But then it makes perfect sense. If you go back in the myths, Loki does kill Baldur with Mistletoe Arrow to start Ragnarok. But Santa Monica, the lore is so well written, the world's so well written, you don't really notice, like, you know Loki is missing, but you don't kind of connect the dots, and then when they hit you with it at the end, you're like, holy shit, Loki was with us the entire goddamn time. And that's the game. I'm not going to be able to keep it under an hour this time. My apologies. Hey, but we're close enough, right? I just want to give a couple final thoughts and the final score as Kratos tells Atreus the origins of his name. So this game, God of War 4, is my favorite game ever. When I played it back in 2018, I played it during some rough times, and it really helped me get through them. And honestly, it's taught me a lot of things about familial relationships, and it kind of opened my eyes to how to make them better in the future, especially with my own father, but that's a story for another day. We're going to be focused on the game, not on me today. Now, if you're one of the 2 people who watched my Last of Us review, you know that I said that the influence of that game cannot be denied, and you see it all throughout this. I think this is Last of Us done a lot better. I know that might be pretty controversial. I think story-wise, I might be a little biased, because as a son who has a father, I think I relate to this more than the father-daughter dynamic of The Last of Us. But even so, I think this game goes a lot deeper. While Last of Us has an incredible ending, I feel like that really holds the story up. But here, I feel like the themes resonate throughout the entire plot. It's told expertly. The actors do such a great job, especially Atreus' actor. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of child actors, but I think he might be part of the reason, because I think he ruined other child actors for me. He's so good. But we could all see it for ourselves. The story in this game is absolutely incredible. The themes resonate so well with the player. The only problem I think I would have with it is a couple pacing issues, where it's like, oh, you're about to go to Jotunheim, psych, and they do that like 3 times. But I don't think this game would be applauded as well as it is by me and by others if the gameplay accompanying it was just kind of average. But here, oh my god, this combat system is so fucking good. Every tool feels useful. There's so many different options when approaching. You can kind of play your way how you want to with the customization. And it's just satisfying in a way that it doesn't have to be gory. It's like, it's just fun to play. It's infinitely replayable. That's why the end game works so well. In the world, you stay for the world here, I think. Listening to Mimir tell stories in the boat while you explore this dead realm. You just want to figure out what happened. Why are the gods like this? Who are they as people? It's so fascinating how they've changed Norse lore in just such an interesting way, while leaving Loki out of it. Obviously, I could explain more, but I just want to keep my thoughts general here in the end. If you want more on just how they crafted this world, there's a really good video called Untangling God of War. You should go watch that. It's actually so well made. It blew me away the first time I watched it. Obviously, it has a couple, in the grand scheme, of pretty minor issues. Enemy variety, the fast travel system's a little wonky. A couple pacing issues within the plot. But for the most part, this game is just, it's a masterpiece. I love it to death. So we're adding a new tier for this game, GOAT tier. And the only game that, in my eyes, can catch it right now is Ragnarok, but we gotta figure that out. In approximately, from when I'm recording this audio, 14 hours. But yeah, that's God of War. I love this game so much. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you have beaten it and also shared the same opinion. If you haven't beaten the game, if you haven't played the game and you're here, I hate you. Why would you ruin this beautiful experience for yourself? And I feel like I need to state this. Obviously, I could not talk about everything in this game. Obviously, I missed some things. I am human. Mistakes happen. I didn't want to make a 5-hour-long video, so I made 2 1-hour-long videos instead. So if you want to discuss anything left out of the video, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll probably respond, because not too many people leave comments on these videos. And to my 8 subscribers that don't watch my videos, do not expect a Ragnarok video anytime soon. I am burnt out on God of War videos right now, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break and enjoy the game for myself. But for now, it is time to rest and prepare for Fimbulwinter. And just one last thank you to everybody who has watched these God of War videos I've made. I don't think I would redo any of them except for God of War 1. I think I would do a narrative review for that if I had to go back. But honestly, the support, especially on these last 2 videos, has been insane in terms of views. So just want to thank anybody who clicked on one of these videos. It means a lot.
The ball!